Sandra used to wake up every morning in sick bed sheets, the kind that whispered luxury with every movement. Her life had always been effortless. Soft mornings, scented candles, fine jewelry, and a husband who adored her enough to shield her from every hardship. To Sandra, struggle was a foreign language. Work was optional. Life was smooth, or so she believed. But life is a master storyteller, and that morning it was preparing a chapter she never imagined. Sandra was in her bedroom, stretching lazily across her massive bed. She scrolled through Instagram, double tapping on the posts of her fellow rich housewives, admiring their vacation pictures, designer outfits, and expensive shopping hauls. Her mouth opened wide in surprise as she scrolled past an influencer flaunting a Hermes baking bag with the caption, "Another shopping spree in Paris. Because why not? A queen deserves luxury." When her phone buzzed with a call from her husband, Timileyin. His voice sounded strange, heavy, uneasy. Minutes later, she heard a knock at the door. Two men in suits, serious faces, tight lips. "Madam, there's been an accident." Her world collapsed. The next hours blurred into night, hospitals, forms, tears she didn't know she could cry, and finally, a body she was told belonged to the man she loved. Her heart tore in two. As if grief wasn't enough, the bank repossessed their home within days. Debt Sandra never knew existed crashed onto her like a collapsing building. Timilehin's business accounts were frozen. All luxuries disappeared. Even her closest friends evaporated like smoke. She was thrown out of her own house with only her son and a few boxes. Life had begun its cruel lesson. They moved into her mother's tiny apartment. Sandra cried every night until her pillow was soaked. Her son slept on the couch. She had never felt the sting of hunger, not until she felt her stomach tighten from a missed meal. One evening she broke down. "Mama, what am I going to do? I have no money." Her mother, calm and blunt, looked straight at her. "You have plenty, not money but things. Clothes, bags, jewelry. All those things you were chasing, they are worth more than some people's life savings." Sandra stared at her in disbelief. "You want me to sell my things?" Her mother raised a brow. "Or you can sit here and starve." The truth slapped harder than a hand. The next morning, she swallowed her pride, called a reseller, and sold over 80% of her designer collection. The money she raised was a shadow of her former wealth, but enough to start something. With trembling fingers, Sandra searched for small businesses she could begin immediately. After many sleepless nights, she settled on selling groceries and raw food items in the market. Her mother helped her find a tiny shop, far from glamorous but a start. Within a week, she stocked it with bags of rice, beans, yams, spices, vegetables, and cooking essentials. On her first day, she sat stiffly behind the counter, terrified of customers. When the woman walked in and asked for a small cup of garri, Sandra's hand shook as she measured it, but it was her first sale and not her last. Slowly, painfully, the business began to breathe. Sandra's soft palms hardened. Her back ached from lifting sacks. She learned to budget, to save, to account for every coin. The market molded her into a new woman. 2 months later, she had transformed, stronger, wiser, responsible. She even saved enough to plan Timilehin's final funeral rites, which had been pending due to lack of funds. The cemetery was full that day. Former staff, friends, family, neighbors, they gathered to honor Timilehin. As they waited for the coffin to be opened, a sudden scream tore through the crowd. Sandra spun around and froze. A figure was walking toward them, alive, breathing. Timilehin, her husband. Her brain could not process what her eyes were seeing. She screamed, stumbled back, her heart thundering like a drum. People murmured, backed away. Some whispered, "Is he a ghost?" Timilehin stepped forward, hands raised. "I'm not dead." Shock rippled through the crowd. Sandra's knees weakened, her breath ceased, her entire world spun. They moved aside from the crowd. She demanded answers through tears and shaking hands. Timileyin looked at her with a pain she had never seen before. I faked everything, the deaths, the accidents, disappearing. Sandra blinked, confused. You did what? I tried for years to make you responsible, he said softly. I begged you to work. I started businesses for you. I gave you opportunities, but you refused to lift a finger. You spent millions but saved nothing. Life is not always soft, Sandra, and I needed you to understand that before it was too late. Her chest tightened. So, you let me suffer. You let me eat rock bottom. I stayed in the background, he whispered. I had people watching you, protecting you. I never abandoned you, but you needed to grow. Sandra wanted to scream, to eat him, to demand why he put her through hell, but deep down she knew he was right. She had become a better version of herself, stronger, wiser, capable. Her tears fell freely. Weeks later, after rebuilding their relationship slowly, Timileyin moved her into a new home, not as extravagant as the old one, but peaceful. Sandra did not stop working. She expanded her shop into a supermarket. She hired good staff. She kept proper records. She learned to multiply money instead of wasting it. A month later, Timileyin surprised her by opening a massive shopping mall, one of the biggest in the city, registered in her name. But this time, she didn't squander the opportunity. Sandra was no longer the entitled woman who believed luxury would last forever. She was now a businesswoman, a mother who provided, a wife who contributed, a woman who survived life's fire and came out good. And when her mother visited the mall and saw customers everywhere, she whispered, she has finally learned. Thank you for watching today's story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me in the comment section. What lessons did you learn from this story? And don't forget to give this story a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to this channel if you have not. Till I come your way again with another beautiful story. Bye.